Hey there and welcome to Capes. My name is Pete and today we complete a first look at this recently released turn-based action strategy game, because when a game positions itself as XCOM with superheroes, then it does sound very promising. Now, before we jump in, full disclosure, this video has been sponsored by Daedalic Entertainment and I have received both a key and compensation for making it. However, and I don't really think this comes as too much of a surprise, I've had my eye on this one for a while now, especially so since Christopher Art played it on his channel a few weeks back. One more note before you get too excited: for the moment this is just planned as a one-off first look at the game, not a full series. But who knows, our XCOM 2 series is coming to an end soon and we need something to fill that spot, so if the video is well received and you want to see more, then Capes might be here to stay for a little while. So what is Capes? Well, I think turn-based superhero tactics already sums it up quite nicely. The game does utilize a turn-based combat system not unlike XCOM's, however mostly without the RNG factor, and instead with a heavy focus on the individual heroes and their unique abilities, which can of course all be leveled up and evolved. The game's setting basically boils down to the supervillains have won and the superheroes are in hiding. In this dystopian setting, we take over a small but steadily growing team of superheroes to fight back against the oppressors, and to be honest, I don't really think I need to tell you that much more. The game does a good job of introducing us to its world and actually finds a rather unique way of doing so. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Now, there are a few other things that really intrigue me about Capes. Most of all, the fact that each mission comes with optional bonus objectives definitely speaks to my completionist nature, and of course, attempting to complete them all does make the game much more difficult and tactical, just the way I like it. And speaking of difficulty, let's get ready by selecting the one that we are going to play on. 3 options to choose from here, and of course we will go with hardcore right from the start. This wouldn't be a completionist channel if we settled for anything less. And to stay true to that completionist promise, we will also attempt to unlock as many achievements as possible in this video, just as if it was a first episode of a full completionist playthrough. And that's all there is, no lengthy setup, so instead let's jump straight into the gameplay. One final note: if you like what you see, you can find links down below in the description and the comments in case you want to check out the game for yourself. But for now, let's learn a bit more about the world of Capes.
King City. A prosperous and bustling metropolis. A safe place. A protected place. Until the day its golden guardians fell from the sky. And the company moved in to take control. Now King City's prosperity comes at a price. Anyone the company suspects of possessing superpowers is taken off the streets, while those that resist are hunted.
We picked up that rogue super signal, boss. She's headed this way.
Perfect. I love it when they run. Means I get to chase them. All right, beat it. I've got work to do. Where'd she go? Come on out, runt! Nothing? I figured you might be more of a challenge. Maybe a little collateral damage will bring you out of the woodwork.
Holy hell! He turned this block into a war zone in less than a minute.
This is it. Time to make a statement.
I sort of figured we'd receive some kind of training first. You know, try out our new powers in a controlled environment. Virtual reality, combat drones, target practice, anything.
You want to play archery tag? Try joining the Boy Scouts. But right now, Crashdamage is down there kicking 7 shades of shit out of some civilians. So you're gonna have to learn on the job.
Ah, great. When management says you'll learn on the job, what they really mean is I don't know how to train you.
Why is he kicking up a ruckus anyway?
He's sending a message. Anyone who hides a cape gets put down. Hard.
Cool pep talk, boss. Come on, Facet. Time to earn our merit badges.
Help!
Hey, where's the soup?
Oh shit. We've got to save these people.
Right, and just like that, we are now introduced to the first hero in our, for now, 2-person party. Facet, a defender, filling the role of tank, as you can see, with 5 green dots above his character representing his health, which, as you will immediately notice, is much more than our other squad member has, not to mention the 2 enemies we are currently facing, as well as the civilians. Now, unsurprisingly, I think, Capes makes use of an action point system. However, it separates them into movement points and actual action points. So, for the most part, you will not have to pick and choose between movement or performing actions, which I think is quite neat, because the amount of actions we are presented with is quite substantial right from the beginning. Now, as you can see, Facet here has 5 movement points, and that means he can move up to 5 tiles. So let's put him where the game wants us to and then learn about actions. Action points we only have 2 of, and they are used for stuff like attacking or performing your hero's various abilities, and those abilities are unique for each hero. Facet, for example, has Crystallize, this ability really emphasizing his role as a tank. Once activated, it gives him a 50% damage reduction on all incoming attacks, albeit at the cost of a reduced movement range. Still, having this active is what makes Facet useful in the first place, so let's use our first action point here to Crystallize.
Looking for us, bozo?
What? Who the hell are you?
Get out of here. I'll cover you.
He's trapped! I can't leave without him!
Damn it. They're still in the firing line. Better lay down some cover. Leave it to me.
And here's another thing that I really like about this game, no more guessing what your enemies will do. If we hover over an enemy here, we can very clearly see where they can attack, and in this case this also tells us that one of the 2 enemies here can in fact attack the civilians. And that is where Facet's growth ability now comes in, basically a crystalline spike that can be placed both on the ground as well as on enemies. If placed on the ground, it blocks line of sight, if placed on an enemy, it immobilizes them. And to get us started here in this tutorial, we are told to place it on the ground, so let's do exactly that to protect those poor civilians.
Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?
All right, it's your funeral. What? How's he still standing? No targets. Moving
Ah,
up.
jeez. Looks like I'm up.
Help!
Right, and with Facet calmly taking a gunshot on hardcore difficulty, we now move over to Rebound. She is sort of your rogue equivalent, if you will, thanks to a teleport ability, very adept at moving across the battlefield. However, as you can see, also extremely squishy with only 2 hit points. So with her, it's an excellent idea to not get hit in the first place, and thankfully she can maneuver like none other to achieve that goal. Once again, just like Facet, only for 5 tiles, but completely ignoring any obstacles along the way.
Come on, let's blow this joint.
I'm gonna be sick.
And with the civilians saved, we now learn about Rebound's strike attack, which receives an extra backstab damage bonus whenever you target an enemy from behind. So you can perhaps already see how her teleport ability and that strike attack neatly synergize, and that's not to mention that, contrary to what you might think, strike is in fact not a melee attack, so while you should always attack from behind, you don't need to stand right next to an enemy. And with that, let's target the enemy on the right side here, 1 point of base damage and another one from the backstab bonus.
Surprise, punks!
Now, unfortunately, that did not kill the enemy, but we have a second action point and now learn about Teleport Spin, an ability that actually combines movement and attacking. Very useful as an opening move, because it saves you movement points to then get away afterwards. And not only that, as you can see here, it can also target multiple enemies. If it happens to strike anyone in the back, it does also benefit from backstab damage, but even if it doesn't, it will at least disarm them.
And stay down.
Nice moves. Now step aside. I'm gonna finish this.
And here you can see it, the one enemy who's still standing has now lost their gun, and Rebound also still has an action point left to move, and with Facet telling her to get out of the way, let's do exactly that, which then finishes her turn. At this point, we are then learning about attack actions that can push enemies back, because while Facet might not be able to do as much damage as Rebound with a backstab attack, he still hits quite hard. In this case, if we move just one tile closer, we can use his Shard Strike attack.
You're out of here.
This has a range of 2 tiles, deals only 1 point of damage, but also pushes a target back 1 tile. In this case, it would push our enemy into the hole behind them, which, as the skull on the ground here clearly indicates, will instantly kill them.
Alright, let me get that for you.
Keep away from us!
Huh? Are you serious? How's that for gratitude?
Where's the super?
What super? I don't know anything! Stop it! Leave them alone!
Oh, you want to play hero? Show them what happens to heroes in this town.
No, no, please!
Yeah, that's right. Anybody else feeling brave? No. Start talking.
We've got to stop this.
Yeah, but I can't make that jump.
Get a little closer. I can bounce us across.
Right, and this is where we now learn about what is arguably one of the core mechanics of capes. Not only does each hero have unique abilities of their own, depending on who they're with, they can also combine their abilities for extra bonuses. However, for that to work, they need to be close to each other. In this case, Facet actually gains the teleport ability from Rebound. However, he still needs to spend an action point to use it. Nonetheless, if you are in a pickle, this could provide some valuable mobility. In this particular case, it also uses Rebound's 5-tile movement range, completely ignoring the fact that Facet in his crystallized form can only move 3 tiles.
Supers? Wait, are these the ones we're after? Who cares? Waste them! Huh? I'll show you how it's done.
That's all you guys got?
Hardly a scratch.
Every time they hit me, I felt a rush. Like adrenaline, but something else.
Huh? Maybe getting hit channels your ultimate power.
My ultimate power? What are you talking about?
It's the greatest manifestation of your power. Figure out how to tap into that, and a hero can turn the tide of any fight.
And indeed, it wouldn't be a proper hero game without some ultimate abilities. These are powerful special abilities that can really turn the tide in a battle. However, to be able to use them, each hero does of course have their very own. They first need to be charged up, with the blue dots below the health bar indicating how close to a full charge each hero is.
Okay. Get hit more, get more powerful. Good to know.
Rebound. Time to make him hurt.
Way ahead of you.
Now, our various heroes also all have unique ways of charging up their ultimate abilities. With Facet, we have already learned that he gains a charge whenever he's hit, so once again emphasizing his role as a tank. For Rebound, meanwhile, entirely different mechanics apply. You can see that for now, she still only has 1 point of ultimate charge. That will shortly change though, as we now learn about another team-up ability.
Want some help, Rebound?
While Facet gains the teleport ability from Rebound, Rebound herself gets an improved attack from Facet. However, to utilize it, we need to be within 3 tiles of him.
Rebound, stab them with this!
This team-up ability is essentially an improved version of Strike, now dealing 1.5 points of base damage. Yes, the game does allow you to deal half points of damage. Just like with the regular Strike, backstab damage bonus still applies. So with Rebound close to Facet, we can deal up to 2.5 points of damage. Although in the case of this enemy right here, with only 2 hit points remaining, it actually would not be necessary.
Well, that was a lot of violence all at once. What a rush!
Yeah, that's your ultimate power. Every super is unique. I guess yours builds the more you backstab. That's the kind of advantage you'll need to stop Crashdamage.
And here it is now revealed to us that Rebound charges her ultimate by backstabbing people, as if that wasn't the obvious answer right from the beginning.
Now, Facet, finish off these goons.
You got it, boss.
And once again, we now have an enemy standing very close to a ledge, so a simple shard strike will be enough to finish them off.
You're gonna have to start thinking like a team to manage larger groups of enemies.
Alright, and with 3 more enemies appearing, we now learn about turn order, which is sort of your initiative in this case. If you are familiar with D&D or games like Baldur's Gate, this should be nothing new to you. Each character on screen also has their position in the initiative queue indicated next to their health bar, so this makes it a little easier to plan around our enemies' attacks. And because this guy with the number 2 here is up next, let us now use growth on him. Like I said before, if we use this on an enemy, it immobilizes them for 1 turn, which is particularly useful against melee enemies.
What is this? I can't move!
Now, with enemy number 2 locked down, we still have to worry about enemy number 3, who ideally should not get to attack or rebound on this turn. So let's move Facet right up in his face. This should draw the enemy's attack on him and protect rebound.
Get these crystals off me!
Alright, now finish them off.
Alright, now at this point the tutorial kind of loosens up a bit. You may have noticed that the initiative order has also changed somewhat, so that is something to keep an eye on, as we are now left more or less to our own devices to take out these 3 enemies, so let us utilize what we have learned to take them out. First of all, since it is Rebound's turn, we will teleport spin between the 2 enemies right here, which will give us an extra point of backstab damage against the enemy in the front. Now at this point we could eliminate them, but that would be a waste of a backstab, so instead let us teleport behind the other enemy with 2 hit points remaining. Coincidentally, that is also the one who's up next, although in a short moment, not anymore.
Whoa, I can feel the power building. That's pretty good.
Right, so at this point we still have some movement left, but Rebound is in no particular danger here, so let's simply end our turn with the button in the lower right corner here and proceed with Facet, who with his growth ability can once again ensure that the enemy who's up next stays locked in place for 1 more turn. And afterwards the 1 point of damage from Shard Strike will be enough to eliminate the other enemy. And with that we could now move, however, let's make sure that we do not move into melee range with the immobilized enemy, because immobilized only means that they cannot move. If we get too close, they could still punch us with a melee attack. So doing it this way ensures that nobody takes any unnecessary damage, and we should also be very easily able to eliminate that last enemy now. As you can see though, we are not quite in range for the teleport spin just yet. So let's move a little closer first, and then we activate Teleport Spin for 2 points of backstab damage. And finally we can finish things off with a regular strike. Once again, the backstab bonus here not even necessary.
That's the last of the goons.
Who the hell are you?
We're the good guys. We're here to help.
Maybe if we work together, we can take down Crashdamage.
He's not my problem anymore. Huh? Thanks for the diversion, slowpokes.
This isn't over, you skinny little freak! Nobody escapes Crashdamage!
There is no way she heard you.
Not the super I was looking for, but whatever. You stupid amateur capes are all the same. Cause a little noise in the city and you all come running to play hero. Well, playtime's over. You 2 are coming with me.
And just like that, we now enter our first boss fight against one of the villains of this game. Crashdamage here sporting a very high number of hit points as well as 2 orange dots above his health bar. We will soon discover what those are for, but for now let's learn a bit more about our adversary.
Alright, this is it. Time to see how you hold up when the shit gets real. Rebound, use your backstab to charge your ultimate power. You're not gonna get through his thick hide without it. And make sure you're out of the way when he attacks. He's gonna hit like a freight train. Let Facet take those blows.
I'm not sure I volunteered for that.
Alright, and once again it is now up to us to solve this fight using the tactics that we have learned. You may notice that Rebound has lost some of her backstab ultimate charges, and I think that is intentional just because the game does not want us to unlock that ultimate too early. Crashdamage, then a brute force melee enemy. However, his melee attacks also deal damage in an area, which is why we should be careful with positioning when it comes to team-up bonuses, as one single hit from Crashdamage will instantly take Rebound out, and you may have spotted that all the way at the beginning when we selected our difficulty. On hardcore difficulty, having a hero get KO'd actually means it's game over, so the stakes are already quite high in this first boss fight of the game. Still, we need to do something, even if it's just a single point of damage, so let's spend Facet's action points first on Strike and then on Growth. You may have also noticed by now that you can only use an action once per turn. We will now also have him stay here, just out of melee range, at least that is what we are hoping, while Rebound uses Teleport Spin to get behind Crashdamage for a backstab.
Ha! Take that, Crashdamage!
At this point, we are unfortunately not in range of Facet to use the upgraded strike, so the regular one will have to do. And that's 5 points of damage dealt already, so we are halfway through Crashdamage's hit points. Let us now make sure that we teleport Rebound to a spot on the battlefield where Crashdamage cannot attack her, and this seems to be fine, so let's end our turn.
You think those little crystals will hold me?
Facet, your crystals aren't doing shit to him. But you still need to draw those fists away from Rebound one way or another.
Oh yeah? How am I supposed to do that?
This ain't exactly rocket science. Figure it out.
Ah, okay.
So, as we have very clearly seen, Growth not the best ability to use against Crashdamage, however, Taunt here might be. Another go-to ability in many attacks' repertoire. For the next turn, this will now force Crashdamage to attack Facet. Very useful, as our enemy has already charged up his ultimate.
Hey, stupid! If my body odor was as bad as yours, I wouldn't go hoisting giant boulders over my head.
Oh, like that's going to work.
That's it, crystals. You're dead meat.
Fine, fine. I stand corrected.
Less sass, more backstabs, please.
Now, we'll talk about that ultimate in just a second. For now, let's strike once more. After all, every point of damage counts. Now, as you can see, Crashdamage has activated his Debris ability. This will deal 2.5 points of damage, so not that much more than his Smash melee attack. However, it has a range of 5 tiles, so unless she's very far away, it could also hit Rebound, who is actually up next, and who will now once again use Teleport Spin.
Quit moving around, little fly, so I can squash you.
I think I'm getting the hang of this.
Now, as you know, Teleport Spin causes disarm, and it does so in this case too. However, in order to make Crashdamage let go of his boulder, you actually need to disarm him 3 times, indicated by those blue bars below his health bar. That health bar, meanwhile, is almost depleted, so let's bring it down to 0 with a team-up strike. Now, this has also unlocked the Backs to the Wall achievement, not to be confused with the Chiropractor Hero Challenge. We'll talk more about hero challenges at the end of the video. For now, you will notice that Crashdamage's health bar has filled up again. However, he has lost one of those orange dots above it, which are therefore essentially indicators of how many lives he has. Alright, so now Facet has tanked all of that, but will also not be able to withstand that much more. Still, we'll use our first action to taunt.
Hey, you great big jerkwad!
With action point number 2, we will then deal another meager 1 point of damage. And because we can't move away without risking an opportunity attack, yes, that is a mechanic in this game too, we will simply stay and proceed with Rebound, who can once again target Crashdamage with her upgraded team-up strike.
Alright, here goes nothing.
And coincidentally, that has now filled up her ultimate meter, just in that moment where we need it the most. And while ultimate abilities can be used at any time regardless of movement or action points, for the purpose of showcasing it, the game does now not allow us to use anything else but Shadow Blitz. 5 attacks against random targets in an area with 2 points of damage per attack. In this case, we only have the one enemy, so all 5 attacks will go against Crashdamage, who at this point also does not have 10 hit points left.
not such a tough guy without your pretty little crystals, are you? You put up a pretty good fight for a newbie. I'll give you that much. But it's like I said. Nobody escapes crash damage!
Just check. You want it to be pulled from the tracks, right?
Oh my god! I almost died! Wait, do you think he died?
That guy? I doubt it.
You think an entire train couldn't stop him?
You really want to stick around and find out? Didn't think so. Back to base, on the dump.
But we won, right? That was us winning our first proper fight. We're real superheroes now.
Don't get ahead of yourself, kid. This ain't a city for heroes anymore. We're the resistance, not the cavalry.
Okay, which means...
It means get your asses back to base before the company's cavalry arrives. Doctrine out.
Jeez, some mentor. Hey, that was great. I was great. You were great.
Me? You were amazing. You saved my life.
I did save your life, didn't I? Well, maybe it's true. Maybe diamonds really are a girl's best friend.
Oh, this isn't diamond. Some kind of silicon crystal lattice as far as I can tell.
Let's get back to base, Mr. Xylophone Lettuce.
Panic this evening as a pair of superpowered terrorists went on a violent rampage through the streets of King City. The civilian death toll, we have been informed, could be in excess of 50.
What? Death toll?
Terrorists? We're not terrorists. We were defending those people.
And where the hell's the footage of that big galoot we were fighting?
This is how they do you. First the media kills your name, your reputation. Then some bastard with a skull for a belt buckle kills you in the streets. And nobody cares. This is the hero game in King City. Still want to wear the tights?
It's a little late for us to back out now, Doc.
Yeah, our first mission made us public enemies #1 and 2.
Vigilantism's always been against the law, kid. Even back in my day. Sure, the mayor or the chief of police would smile when you stopped a bank heist. But you could tell they resented it. And that resentment, that made them look around for alternatives.
Yeah? Well, what happened? What did they do?
Forget it. Story time's over. The point is, we want to do this, we're gonna need an army.
A super army? What, are we recruiting?
How? Every time a new super shows up, the company releases the hounds.
Then you'll have to get faster. I got to you before they did, didn't I?
Barely.
Then we need to find out what the company does with the supers they catch. I have a hunch, and I don't like it.
Alright, the first tutorial mission has been completed and we unlock another achievement. Our heroes both also earn 1 experience point, and as you can already see here, Facet will level up a bit quicker. Because we completed the Chiropractor Hero Challenge with 10 backstabs, Rebound also gains 1 skill point. Once again, we will talk more about what those are at the end of the video. For now, let us proceed with the next mission.
2 new capes? You're sure?
Oh yeah, real sure. They nearly took me apart.
How unfortunate.
Oh, boss. I didn't know you cared. Think I've actually busted a couple ribs.
Not that, you cretin. You let a pair of freshly minted capes go. Not to mention the speedster. And frankly, you're useless to me if you can't fight. Perhaps it's time for you to visit Alpha.
Whoa! Let's not do anything we're gonna regret. They won't get away from me next time. I swear.
Of course they won't. And either way, I'll find a use for you.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means playtime is over. You two are up. Someone in the city is using powers. You need to bring them in before they fall into company hands.
Well, you heard him, Diamond Dome. Let's roll.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Diamond Dome? I never agreed to that.
Facet, wait up. Are we sure we're doing the right thing here?
You're asking this now. What do you mean?
Should we be joining up with this weird old man's obsessive revenge trip? Should we really be roping other people into it?
Probably not. But if the company gets to the kid, no one will ever see them again. Just like every other super in town. Doc's weird and mean, and his hygiene is questionable. But he's got to be better than that.
So pulling this kid into our crazy adventure is the lesser of two evils?
We've come all this way, so I hope so.
Ugh, crap. Too
What?
late.
Attention citizens! This is the company! Illegal superhuman activity has been detected at this location. Surrender the cape, or we will be forced to take extreme measures.
Why can't you leave us alone? We've done nothing wrong!
What do we do now?
That's a lot of agents. Think we can take them?
Suspect is non-compliant. Terminal force authorized.
Ha! You heard him, boys! Body cameras off! Blow the door out and form up!
We told you, leave us alone!
Back up! We need backup!
This looks like our cue.
Follow me!
Alright, mission number 2, the tutorial not quite behind us. At this point we are now introduced to weapons. Any enemy carrying one is clearly indicated with a small icon above their health bar. As you can imagine, a pistol also hits a bit harder than a fist, not to mention that it can target us from afar. This mission then also the first one where we have the aforementioned optional objectives. Completing them is not necessary to win the mission, however doing so does give us extra bonuses at the end of it. One of the optional objectives here is to disarm 5 enemies, which now introduces us to the disarm action, so each of our heroes has a dedicated ability to strip an enemy of their weapon. Whether or not that's always the best course of action remains to be seen. For now we have 4 enemies to take care of, 3 with a pistol and 1 melee enemy. So let's begin by moving Facet next to these 2 guys right here. Then we can use his disarm action to get a bit closer to that first objective. And afterwards we could now crystallize to be a bit better protected, but instead let's use Shard Strike, which does actually have a neat effect. Because of the pushback, one enemy has just been pushed into the other, causing an extra point of damage to that second enemy, which coincidentally now leaves both of them standing at 2 hit points. You may already be able to see where this is going, still let's move up. And then it's Rebound's turn, who instead of a dedicated disarm gets Shadow Blast, which as you can see has a much higher range and actually causes 2 points of disarm. A potential use case for that we saw in the previous mission.
And stay down.
Now, despite killing the enemy here with a backstab, using teleport spin still counts as a successful disarm.
Close ranks!
Enemy number 2 meanwhile was already disarmed, and so the regular backstab here does not lose us a disarm opportunity. Now at this point we can see that Rebound is unfortunately within pistol range of that other enemy, so let's move her over to the side and then end our turn, which brings up the important information that unspent action points are converted into ultimate charges at the end of the turn. However, this only goes for action points, not for movement. Still, it is worth keeping in mind that you don't always have to spend those 2 action points. In some situations it might even be better to sit and wait. Now, because our 2 enemies here did not have anyone to attack on their turn, they have simply moved closer, and we will now close the gap with Facet and once again use the disarm action, just to increase the count for that optional objective.
You can't do that!
Afterwards then, we are using Growth to pin the melee enemy in place. With a 1 tile attack range, this will render them completely harmless. Switching over to Facet, we then first teleport behind the enemy we just disarmed. Using teleport spin here would be wasting an action that can disarm itself, so instead, let's strike.
Rebound, stab them with this.
This now also completes the optional objective for 3 successful backstabs, and only at this point will we use teleport spin now to disarm the melee enemy.
That won't stop us!
And coincidentally, we still have 1 point of movement left, so let's get out of melee range, which should make this a rather harmless enemy turn.
You're only making me more powerful.
Now you may have noticed that we have still not crystallized with Facet yet, so he takes the full point of damage from the fist strike here. In my opinion though, wasting an action point on crystallize is really not necessary this early in the mission. It should actually be possible to beat it without doing so at all, but let's stay on the safe side for now and activate it anyway. Afterwards then we will shard strike to kill enemy number 3 or 4.
Damn, they're good!
And we can finish our turn by moving into melee range against the last enemy here, although admittedly that is more of an optional move to make.
Keep him away from me. I've seen what he can do!
And with that, let's get to it. Teleport spin behind the guy to deal 2 more points of backstab damage.
Ready to mess up some bad guys.
And then a strike to deliver the killing blow and to clear out the battlefield.
Don't mess with us, creeps!
How dare you? We're good people. My son has done nothing wrong. Just leave us be.
It's okay, Mum. These two, they're friends. Or they will be. They're the Resistance? And they're going to ask me to join them. I'm going to say yes, Mum. I have to.
Hey, let's not jump ahead now. How do you know all that? And who said we wanted you to join us? We're real exclusive.
No, you're not. I skimmed your mind while you were watching the house. He's kinda hard to read, but you're very loud.
Thanks?
Look, we don't have a lot of time. We need to move, now.
Atharv, wait! Don't go out there, please. What if they see what you are? To lose my only son to the company? It would be too much.
It's okay, Mum. We knew we couldn't hide this forever. It's time. More agents. Leave them to me.
And just like that, we are introduced to Mindfire, very clearly another hero. As the name already suggests, he uses mental attacks against his enemies. Those usually have a bit of a range to them, and he also only has 2 hit points, so he's not exactly a close range attacker. One very useful ability that he has is Vulnerable. For 1 turn, this gives us a 50% damage bonus against an affected target, and any attack we land against one such target also fills up Mindfire's ultimate charge. And speaking of ultimate charges, you can see here that Mindfire already starts with his bar almost full. And we will get the last point right here, as we are now told to use Telekinesis, a ranged attack dealing 2 points of damage, or in this case, thanks to applying Vulnerable beforehand, 3.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
And just like that, Mindfire's Barrage ultimate is ready. It might seem a bit underwhelming at first, dealing only 3 points of damage against a single target, but it can be used at range, and of course it does get better as the game progresses.
No!
Whoa, wow! Remind me not to get on your bad side.
Is that all of them? We'd better bounce before more show up.
Actually...
Now, conveniently enough, this has now also completed the second optional objective of using an ultimate ability, and the game now also tells us that we are in phase 3 of 3 of this fight, which means we only have these 4 enemies left to complete that last optional objective. And this fight, I think, is one of those early moments where you can already see things sort of starting to click. For example, by moving up with Facet here, we are now close enough to Rebound to use her teleport with him. That we can then use to get right into the face of the enemy over by the armored vehicle.
We make a good team, Aburo.
Who we can consequently hit and knock back 1 tile with Facet's Shard Strike. And as you may notice, this puts two enemies adjacent to each other with a neat gap in the middle. The perfect opportunity for Rebound here to damage them both, and after moving up just a tiny little bit, she is in range for the teleport spin, which will also disarm both of these guys and therefore complete our third optional objective. And there we go, all optional objectives have been complete and we are in fact ready to use Rebound's ultimate. Remember though, we do not need to have movement or action points to do so, so let us first backstab kill another enemy.
This is all going pear-shaped.
Indeed it is, because Rebound is now going to use Shadow Blitz. 5 attacks are incoming, we would unfortunately need 6 to kill all 3 enemies, still after this the fight will be more or less over.
God damn it! Are you seeing this?
And there we go, only a single enemy with a single hit point remains, and they won't be able to go until Mindfire had his turn, who will first move up 4 tiles to get in range to use his telekinesis. Coincidentally, this now also gets him into team-up range with Facet, so let's finish this with team-up telekinesis, half a point more damage and a unique animation on top of that.
Facet, can you lend a hand? Okay, now we need to get moving. There could be reinforcements on the way. I have to go, Mum. Be strong. Be strong for me.
This wretched city is an upside-down place. No son should ever have to tell his mother to be strong. Go then. Go do what is right. Even when what is right is hard. And the two of you? Look after my son. He's just a boy. Shouldn't have to bear such burdens.
Mom, I'm not... Listen, I'm ready for this.
Everything okay, big brain?
What? Yes, it's fine. Don't start jumping at shadows, love. We need to fit in. Let's go. So, I live here now? Is the entire place made of rat shit, or just my room?
Pretty much all of it. Welcome to the glamorous life of the city's last superheroes.
Superheroes are dead, Facet. They have been for a long time.
No, they just smell that way. Speaking of, wait until you meet the old man. You two are really gonna hit it off.
Listen, we may be out of fashion, but somebody's got to do this job. Why not us?
So, now there's 3 of us. You feel like letting us in on your plan?
The plan hasn't changed. It's what we should have done a long time ago. Make this a free city. And if I have to tear it bloodily out of the hands of the company, well, that's just a bonus.
If we get rid of them, who's going to run things? The Capes died decades ago.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Oh, cool. So we have no plan for that then. Terrific. Anarchy all around. Good job.
I wasn't looking for feedback.
We get it. You're grizzled.
Anyway, we've got more important things to worry about now. The company's seen you, seen what you can do. They're gonna come for you, for us. So get some sleep. You're going to need it.
And there we are, second mission completed, third achievement unlocked, and in true completionist fashion we earn 4 extra skill points, 1 each per completed optional objective, and 1 extra as a bonus for completing them all in one go. And you may have guessed it already, those skill points will be used to purchase new abilities and upgrades for our heroes.
Did I just level up? I think I just leveled up.
And with this mission earning us 2 experience points, Facet has indeed leveled up to level 2. However, very importantly, by itself, that does not actually give him any new abilities. Instead, it only makes new ones available to purchase.
I knew you were going to ask me to join.
And indeed, Mindfire now joins us as hero number 3, and considering the number of seats we just saw and can once again see in the background here, there will be quite a few more coming our way. This here then our menu in between missions, where we can select all of our individual heroes and upgrade them if we so choose. At level 2, Facet now has 4 new abilities or ability upgrades to choose from. We can also see that level 5 is already the level cap, which could help towards making progression feel really earned. One very important menu then, these hero challenges here. As you saw earlier, we already completed one with Rebound, and there are plenty of them available for every single hero. This is definitely something that you should keep an eye on between missions. Some of them are pretty easy to complete, others require a bit more of a setup, but gaining a few extra skill points from here can be very valuable in the early game, especially so if you want your squad to be able to consistently tackle those optional mission objectives. A few more features then here just to show them off. As you can see, you can change the appearance of your heroes. If we head back to the main menu, then we can also see dossiers available on every character and faction that we have met so far. If you would like to read through these, then by all means go ahead and pause the video for a few seconds. You can also see that for the heroes we have unique dialogue dossiers still locked at the bottom of the screen, and those will of course be unlocked as the game's storyline progresses. And speaking of storyline, at this point we should probably also take a brief look at how things continue from here. As you can see in the mission tab, we actually do not have another main campaign mission waiting for us. Instead, we are offered 2 patrols, so sort of side missions first. The second one, Acquaintance, is actually a stealth mission, so the objective won't always be to just kill all enemies. Finally then, the simulator here allows you to replay missions that you have already completed, I assume in order to complete those optional objectives you missed the first time around. So should this in fact become a full series on this channel, the goal would of course be for us to never have a reason to step foot into that simulator. For today though, I think this suffices as a first look at Capes. I have to say I am really intrigued by what this game has to offer. I honestly think that by calling it XCOM with superheroes, you're selling it short. I think you saw during those first 2 missions that there are some stark differences between the 2 games, and we have of course at this point only seen the tip of the iceberg. So, if you liked what you saw, then let me know in the comments down below. The game is out now on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation and Xbox. Once again, you can find links down below to get yourself a copy if you are interested. And with that, I want to say thank you to Daedalic for sponsoring this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course go ahead and subscribe, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.